Good evening, everyone. The time now is 7:23, and I'd like to call the meeting August 21st as a regular council meeting in order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Here.
Jablisco?
Here.
Miles? Mojica?
Here.
Newberry is absent. Parker?
Here.
Timmons?
Here.
And Parsons absent.
Okay, can we all stand now? We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. At this time, may I have Mr. Brown please read our invocation?
Yes, thank you. Heads bowed. O God, the fountain of wisdom, whose will is good and gracious, and whose law is truth, we beseech you so to guide and bless those elected to serve the residents of our community, that we may enact such laws as shall please you, to the glory of your name and the welfare of this people. Through your name, amen. I wanted to say a thing to the residents in the city of Rahway. We had Reverend Buffalo passed away. Reverend Buffalo was a resident, and his family was a resident of Rahway, and he was at the Union Baptist Church in Elizabeth, and they were telling me that the wake is tomorrow and the funeral is Thursday. But that family was very instrumental in my growth here in the city of Rahway, and I'd just like to have a few minutes of silence. Amen.
Ms. Capone, could you please read the open public meeting statement, please?
Notice of this meeting has been sent to the official newspaper, and adequate and electronic notice has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act as required by law.
I need approval of the July 3rd special meeting, July 28th combined meeting. Can I have a motion and a second on both sets?
Motion.
Move it. Second?
Yep, I'll second.
Second. Thank you.
Roll call. Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles is absent. Mojica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
Parson is absent.
Ms. Capone, do we have any communications from the mayor's office or any building?
Yes, you've received the payment of bills, police report for July, and the fire reports for June and July.
Do we have any reports from the council committees?
You have received the SID report and a public safety update.
I will now open the public hearing for the 2024 calendar year municipal budget. Citizens having 5 minutes to speak on only once. And please address all comments to the city council. Mr. Capone, do I have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, Lisa Vanderveer, 254 Oak Street.
Hi there, Lisa Vanderveer, 254 Oak Street. Good evening, everyone. I don't have any deep analysis of the budget. First off, I don't quite understand the process that it's approved in June as a special meeting, and now we get to comment on it after it's been accepted, apparently.
No, ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay.
It was introduced in June.
Okay,
The public hearing is tonight,
Okay.
and then the city council will consider adopting it after tonight.
okay,
So that's just a statutory process.
okay. It looked like it was signed as accepted on July 3rd. Okay, my misunderstanding. The one thing I am curious about, and I don't know if you can explain it tonight or just keep it in mind for constituents, is I noticed there were increases, obviously. Not so much in salaries, but in the
Council President.
expenses.
I can't understand her.
Okay, I will say, looking at the budget, obviously there's an increase. Is there a problem with the mic? No, I can hear you. Okay. There's increases, not so much in salaries, but in the expenses attached to them, such as engineering, legal, economic development. So I'm just wondering what things go into that expenses bucket.
Ma'am, so what I can do is afterwards, I can grab your information and
Okay.
We'll set up a meeting and discuss that.
Okay, that'd be great. Like, I don't know if it's insurance, taxes, consulting fees. It's just, they're pretty significant chunks of money. So, thank you.
That's it.
We will now adopt the following resolution in connection with the 24 municipal budget. Ms. Capone, could you read Article AR 198-24 by title?
Resolution 189-24, a resolution of the City of Rahway in the County of Union, New Jersey, to amend the 2024 budget pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-9.
I'll assign Mohiga and Miles, please. Any comments from the council? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry is absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parson is absent.
Ms. Capone, could you please read Resolution AR 190-24 by title?
A resolution of the City of Rahway in the County of Union, New Jersey, to amend the 2024 Capital Improvement Plan.
Okay, I assign Parker and Mr. Brown. Any councilman have any questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parsons absent.
Ms. Capone, could you please read AR 191-24 by title?
A resolution adopting the calendar year 2024 municipal budget as amended.
I'd like to sign Timmons and Miles, please. Any questions from the council? Roll call.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parson is absent.
Hearing from citizens on the agenda.
We have Lisa Vanderveer, 254 Oak Street.
Hello again. This time, I'd like to speak on O3024, an ordinance amending Section 42949 of the Code of the City of Rahway signs. And I don't have the exact wording with me. I know it's in the packet. It changes it from a 30-day requirement that all political signs be kept within that, and extends it to 45 days before mailing vote by mail. I think we might want to clarify whether that's 45 minutes of when the ballots are mailed out. 45 days before the ballots are mailed out, or 45 days before they're due.
The statutes, the ordinance is pretty clear. It's 45 days prior to the date fixed by state law for the mailing of vote-by-mail ballots.
For
So
the
whatever
mailing,
that-
for the
whatever
return
that
or the
date is.
mailing out?
Excuse me?
For the return mailing or
No,
the mailing
they're
out?
fixed by state law for, there is no state
Okay.
law that fixes the day you return your ballot. It's to fix the day that the ballots are mailed out.
Okay, so it's 45 days prior to September 21, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, want the clarification. One other thing, who is going to be responsible for enforcing this? As in the past, members of the council and the mayor have been known to put up signs before the 30 days. So who do we contact when someone is in violation?
Zoning department?
The zoning department?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else, Ms. Capone?
Good evening, City Council members. I'm a resident of Rahway. I lived at 1375 since 1999. I have two concerns. One, the resurfacing of Central Avenue. You know when we have lots of rain, Veteran Field floods, and it floods into Central Avenue. It floods out to St. George. That street has not been resurfaced in 25 years. Elm has been resurfaced twice. I'm assuming that there's some type of document showing which streets in the city have been resurfaced and which ones have had no attention. Maple Terrace has potholes in it. Estabrook, Bryant, they're all in disarray. So I've seen sometimes when they come and fill potholes, but I'm asking if they can be resurfaced. Tree pruning is another issue. Rahway prides itself on being a tree city. The trees we have are not being taken care of. I've called DPW several times with branches that are low where you have to duck on the sidewalks. Again, Elm, Estabrook, Central, all of them need to be pruned. I talked with a gentleman who's taking a tree down, and he told me it's only one crew of 3 people who are responsible for every tree in the city. So I don't know if there's a plan with DPW, because I've called and I keep calling and I'm not getting any response. With that being said, the trees that are being taken down, the stumps are not being grounded, and I have a stump that was grounded on my property on Central Avenue where the sidewalk is buckled. From my understanding, if someone,
Portion is only for items on the agenda.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought that these were only for the items that were not on the agenda.
That's at the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Paul Ridgway, 1394 Bryant Street. Same thing? Okay, I'll add you to the list here. Then we have Michael McFarland's, 239 Central Avenue.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out. My name is Michael McFarling. I'm here regarding the issue with parking authority, and when they don't allow us permit to park in Central Ave, and they just bombarding us with tickets every day, and we are tired of it, and that's why we're here to.
Can you speak into the microphone,
This is
sir?
why we're here to.
This isn't on our agenda, so there's a portion at the end of the meeting where you'll get a chance to speak. I don't think that this is on our agenda.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
That's all I have.
Okay. Now, is there anyone to my left that would like to speak?
Yes, I thought I signed up, but Jeff Robinson, 244 Stanton Street in Rahway. As you know, I'm also the chairperson of the City of Rahway's Environmental Commission. Just two items on the agenda I would like to comment on and have a few questions. The first one, AR 187, resolution authorizing participation of the City of Rahway in the Greening Union County Grant Program. I think it's great that the county is continuing this program. It's to plant 4,000 new trees in the county over the next several years, and it's good to see that Rahway is going to be taking part in this. Rahway is going to be purchasing 35 trees with some of this funding from the counties, and I think that's really good. Trees, as you know, have great benefits, both environmentally and to the health and welfare of the residents of the city. So, and we've lost a lot of trees over the years, so it's good that we're participating in this. The other resolution, AR 185, a resolution awarding a contract to Najarian Associates for professional engineering services for the Wetina Park Dog Park Improvement Project. And I read through Najarian Associates, their proposal for the professional engineering services to create this Wetina Dog Park. 3 questions. One, because it doesn't mention it, but did the city have to apply with the New Jersey DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, for a permit to put this proposed dog park in? Because the dog park is literally right on the Rahway River. So that's my first question. Also, on the first page of Najarian's proposal, it reads, per the New Jersey DEP pre-application meeting, there are no New Jersey DEP requirements with the concept provided. So what does that mean? So the DEP has no problems with this project? They're not requiring any type of permits? What exactly was this? Was there some sort of an agreement between the city and Najarian and the DEP? I think we need clarification on that. So that's my second question. The third one is, as you know, all dog parks, the dog owners are required to clean up after their dogs, and this won't be any exception, of course. But of course, we know that sometimes because of different circumstances, residents don't clean up after their dogs. And even when dog owners do clean up after their dogs, there's always a little residue left on the ground. Now, this park is right next to the Rahway River, and the ground actually slopes down towards the river, the area where the dog park would go. So my question is, because it wasn't addressed in Najarian Associates' proposal, how is Najarian Associates proposing to prevent dog waste from being washed into the Rahway River, or at least minimize the dog waste being washed into the Rahway River? Again, it's not addressed in their short, about 4 or 5 page proposal, but I think that's really important. We want to keep the Rahway River clean, and I do think these questions that I have tonight are things that you, as council people, really should need to know before you vote on this resolution. So, again, those are my questions, and hopefully you might be able to answer them tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, on my left, is anyone on the right like to speak this time? Okay, we have our first readings. Ms. Capone, could you read ordinance O-27-24 by title, please?
An ordinance amending Chapter 401 of the Code of the City of Rahway, Vehicles and Traffic, Handicap Parking at 1663 Oliver Street.
Okay, I have Mojica and Brown. I'd like to have a move in a second. Any council comments? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
DeBlisco?
Yes.
Miles? Mojica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parsons absent.
Okay, Council President. Okay. Mr. Capone, could you please read ordinance O-28-24 by title?
An ordinance amending Chapter 401 of the Code of the City of Rahway, Vehicles and Traffic, Handicap Parking at 1708 Irving Street.
For Parker and Timmons, and any council member have any questions? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
DeBlisco?
Yes.
Miles? Mojica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
Parsons absent.
Can you please read O 29-24 by title?
An ordinance of the City of Rawley amending Section 401-73 of the Chapter 401, Article 10, titled Schedules, to modify the parking hours on Broad Street.
Okay, I have Miles and Brown and Mover in a second on that. Any questions or comments from the council? If no, I'd like to have the roll call, please.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
DeBrisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parsons absent.
Okay, Ms. Capone, could you please read ordinance O 30-24?
An ordinance amending Section 429-49 of the Code of the City of Rawley, signs.
Okay, I have Parker and Timmons assigned in a second. Any questions from my council? If not, a roll call, please.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
DeBrisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parsons is absent.
Okay. Ms. Capone, could you read ordinance O 31-24 by title?
An ordinance to amend the parts of Block 226, 227, and Block 228 redevelopment plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 and set.
Mohica and Brown, been assigned and a mover, second. Any councilmen have any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
DeBrisco?
Yes.
Miles? Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
Parsons is absent. Ordinances O-27-24 through O-31-24 are deemed adopted on first reading and will come up for public hearing and final adoption on September 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m.
Moving into the resolutions, Ms. Capone, could you please read the title for resolution AR 169-24?
A resolution authorizing the mayor and municipal clerk of the municipality of Rawley to execute an agreement with the county of Union to modify the cooperative agreement dated June 2014 as amended September 2017 and accept funding allocations.
I assigned Brown and Miles as a mover in a second. Any questions from the council? If not, may I have the roll call, please?
There's no roll call.
So we're going to assign the movers and seconds.
So now the title for AR-170.
7024.
The resolution of the municipal council of the city of Rawley authorizing an amendment to the agreement with Merton Company Incorporated for groundwater monitoring law.
Timmons and Mohica.
AR 171-24, a resolution authorizing a change order to the contract between the City of Rawley and Conquest Construction Incorporated for additional services associated with the Water Quality Assurance Program, Test Pit, and Lead Service Replacement Phase 2.
Miles and Parker.
AR 172-24, a resolution authorizing the filing of liens against certain properties to recover cleanup costs incurred by the city in accordance with the provisions of Section 151-4 of the Code of the City of Rawley and NJSA 40:48-2.14.
Brown and Miles, please.
AR 173-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city council of the City of Rawley to apply for the Union County Kids Recreation Trust Fund grant and enter into a contract thereto.
Timmons and Parker, please.
AR 174-24, a resolution authorizing the refund of money due to the redemption of tax sale certificates for 2021 to 2023 tax liens.
Miles and Brown.
AR 175-24, a resolution authorizing the amendment of AR 121-24, a resolution authorizing a surviving spouse of a disabled veteran deduction, Jane
Myself-
Savard.
Myself and the council.
AR 176-24, a resolution authorizing the refund of payment of tax 2024.
Mohica and Brown, please.
AR 177-24, a resolution authorizing the refund of payment of taxes due to the granting of a widow of a veteran deduction for the calendar year 2024.
Miles and Parker.
AR 178-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor or clerk to enter into a shared service agreement between the City of Rawley and the Board of Education of the City of Rawley for nursing services for non-public school pupils.
That'll be Brown and Timmons.
AR 179-24, a resolution accepting the highest bid for the public sale of the property located at Lawrence Street, Rawley, New Jersey, designated on the Rawley tax maps as Block 331, Lot 28.
Miles and Mohica, please.
180-24, a resolution appointing a fund commissioner for the Central Jersey Municipal Joint Insurance Fund.
Parker and Mohica.
AR 181-24, a resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 new vehicles for the Department of Public Works from the Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System.
Brown and Timmons.
AR 182-24, a resolution awarding a contract to T&M Associates for professional environmental engineering services for Madden Field.
Parker and Brown.
AR 183-24, a resolution designating an authorized representative to execute all New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Treatment Works approval permit and Bureau of Water System Engineering permit application endorsements as
Mohica and Miles.
AR 184-24, a resolution awarding a contract to the Union County Performing Arts Center, Incorporated, for the presentation of temporary artwork in the historic theater located at 1601 Irving Street.
Timmons and Parker.
AR 185-24, a resolution awarding a contract to Nargian Associates for professional engineering services for the Watana Park Dog Park Improvement Project.
Mohica and Brown.
AR 186-24, a resolution approving a professional services contract with RSC Architects for professional architectural services for the City of Rawley.
Brown and Miles.
AR 187, a resolution authorizing participation of the City of Rawley in the Greening Union County Grant Program.
Mohica and Parker.
AR 188-24, a resolution authorizing participation of the City of Rawley in the
Timmons and, Timmons and Brown. Timmons and Mohica. The resolutions will be adopted as one motion as a consent agenda. Do any of the council members wish to remove the resolution or any consent agenda? May I have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda?
Council Vice President, I'd like to make the motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Need a second? Roll call, clerk.
Yes.
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 Ordinance on a second reading. Ms. Capone, could you please read ordinance title O-2324?
An ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
At this time, we'll open a public hearing to ordinance O-23-24. You have 5 minutes to speak on this one item. Please direct all comments to the city council. Okay, any council have any comments to the ordinance? Roll call, I guess.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes.
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 Okay, Mr. Cabot, could you please read title number ordinance O-24-24?
An ordinance by the City of Rawley authorizing the installation of a four-way stop at the intersection of Jefferson Avenue and Stone Street and amending the code of the City of Rawley.
Okay, at this time, once again, a public hearing on O-24-24. I have 5 minutes to speak. Anyone wants to speak, you may do so now. Is there anyone on my left? Okay, yes, okay, I'm sorry, okay. Sir, come forward.
Oh, yeah,
State your name and your address.
yeah, Michael McFarlane, reside at 239 Central Avenue. As I was saying before, with the parking ticket that they issue to us every day on a daily basis, and we're just sick and tired of the bombardment of tickets, and well, I would like to voice my opinion on this matter because it's mind-bothering. Thank you.
Do the roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay,
O-25-24, an ordinance amending Chapter 401 of the Code of the City of Rawley, Vehicles and Traffic, Sakanaki Place.
Okay. Okay, at this time, we have a public hearing on ordinance 25-24. You have 5 minutes to speak if anyone has anything to speak on this.
I don't have anybody that signed up.
Anybody on the council? No? Anyone to my right or left? Anyone from the council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
Parson is absent.
Okay. Ordinance O-26-24 has been removed from the agenda. Miscellaneous, okay, this miscellaneous, I have a block party permit. Okay, a block party permit BP-2406. I need a signer and a mover to the council. Parker and Brown, please. Roll call.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Brown?
Yes.
Jablisco?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Mohica?
Yes.
Newberry's absent. Parker?
Yes.
Timmons?
Yes.
And Parson is absent.
Okay. Now at this time, we have the hearing from any citizen on any item. The public from the floor, you have 5 minutes to speak, and you must address your name and address at this time. Any comments, please do not respond.
Okay, first I have Bob Markey, 103 West Main Street.
We're combining like the first two of them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
Good evening. In behalf of Rawley Garden Club, I'd like to introduce Judah Garcia Phillips, and he's an aspiring Eagle Scout. The project that he would like to take on is an improvement to Rawley's native plant rain garden located at St. George's Avenue and Central Avenue. and it's one that our garden club supports. The Garden Club of New Jersey, I'm going to read a short letter of support as well from Beverly Kazikas, President, Garden Club of New Jersey. Good afternoon, Bob. Thank you for sharing this great news. The Eagle Scout proposal is a wonderful project. The Rahway Garden Club and Eagle Scout candidate Judah Garcia Phillips have the full support of the 5,000-member Garden Club of New Jersey for this worthy undertaking. The additional signage and improved seating will be excellent additions to Rahway's native plant rain garden. And I certainly, as also on the National Garden Club and youth coordinator for National Garden Club, it has my same support. So with that, I'd like to turn things over to Judah.
Good evening, members of the City Council. My name is Judah, and I'm currently working towards earning the rank of Eagle Scout. As part of my Eagle Scout project, I'm here to present to you a proposal that I believe will benefit both our community and our environment. The project I'm proposing involves two key components. The first part is the rain garden enhancement. There's a rain garden located at the corner of Central Ave and St. George's Avenue that is currently filled with a variety of native plant species. These plants are essential to our local ecosystem, providing habitat for wildlife, improving water quality, and contributing to our overall health of our environment. My project aims to enhance this rain garden by adding educational signage and QR codes. These signs will provide visitors with information about the native plants in the garden, explaining their ecological importance and how they can contribute to our environment. The QR codes will be linked to a dedicated web page with additional details, allowing visitors to learn more about each plant species, their benefits, and how they can incorporate native plants into their own gardens. The second part is an installation of benches. To make the rain garden a more inviting space for our community, I propose installing 4 benches around the garden. These benches will provide a place for visitors to sit, relax, and enjoy the nature and their surroundings. Each bench will be supported by 2 posts, which will be securely anchored with concrete to ensure their stability and longevity. Since these benches will be installed on city land, I'm here to request the council's permission to proceed with this aspect of the project. This project has been carefully planned to ensure that it is both environmentally friendly and beneficial to the community. I've already gathered the necessary resources and volunteers to complete this work, and I'm committed to ensuring that this project is carried out with the highest level of care and responsibility. In addition to improving the rain garden, this project will also serve as an educational tool for residents and visitors, helping raise awareness about the importance of these native plants in our ecosystem. I kindly request the City Council's approval to proceed with the installation of the benches and enhancement of the Rahway Rain Garden. Your support will not only help me achieve my goal of becoming an Eagle Scout, but will also contribute to the beautification and environmental education of our community. Today and this weekend, I've been in contact with Ms. Fleming, in zoning, and she said that as though, because this is a public speaking part, I might not get this approved today, but I would appreciate your guys' advice if you have any on how I could proceed with this project to make sure I can finish it in a timely manner. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well done, well done.
Okay, next I have Jeff Robinson, 244 Staten Street. You did, okay. Then it's Travis Armstrong, 1375 Maple Terrace.
Hey, welcome back again. So, as far as resurfacing the streets, I'm assuming, I know from the budget that there's a capital improvement, I think it's a 6-year plan, that there's money earmarked for roads or whatever. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know, I'm assuming that there's some type of document saying which streets in the city, because I know Elm has been done twice in the last 25 years that I've been here. And I don't know if there's a document. When I talked to Danny Newberry about this, because of course it's the second ribbon cutting for the playground down the street. First ribbon cutting, I asked about it. She said we're on the list, and that was like 3 years ago. So I want to know, where are we on this list, and if this list exists for the streets that have already been resurfaced and the streets proposed to be resurfaced. In that same vein, I have emergency no parking banners for the whole length of Maple Terrace from August 5th to August 9th. I don't know why. None of my neighbors knew why those signs were there. And to this, I would thought maybe they were resurfacing it. I have no idea. So I don't know whose responsibility it is to communicate with the homeowners that live on that block as to why the emergency no parking signs go up. Getting back to the tree pruning, Broadway prides itself on being a tree city. The trees that we have, let's be responsible with the pruning of them. The sidewalks buckle. They're not stumping all the ground. They're not grinding the stumps, and they're not fixing the sidewalks. And if I'm not mistaken, if someone falls on my property, is that against me or against the city? And what I've been told by DPW is that there's a waiting list for that. And I don't know how that list moves. That's, as far as it, I know the gentleman said something about Central Avenue, the Blitz. Central Avenue has street cleaning on Thursday morning between 8 and 10. I parked on Maple Terrace in front of my house because I'm on a corner. I got a $55 ticket for 25 feet within the crosswalk that morning. I think that there can be a plan to clean every street, because what I noticed with the street sweeper, he'll come down a one-way from Elm to Central, and whatever cars are there, he goes around them. So I think maybe there can be a plan developed that every street in this city can be cleaned. And I think if you tell residents, maybe on Tuesdays not to park on one side or don't park on the street between certain hours, just like Central Avenue, that can get accomplished. And that's basically about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next, I have Paul Ridgway, 1394 Bryant Street.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I actually want to speak about a quality of life issue, the dog poop by Veterans Field. 1 week before graduation, and I have a special connection to graduation because I was a longtime teacher in Rahway, a neighbor allowed her 2 dogs to defecate, and it was literally 1 week before graduation with signs up. I addressed the neighbor. I put 2 dog poop bags on the fence. I walked back across the street. As to not be confrontational, and I told her it was against the law, and it was that she needed to clean. She told me with a lot of F words to basically go screw myself and to call the police. I did. 2 officers showed up. She lives right there on the corner, was waiting for them. They went over. She admitted it to them, and they walked away. One officer came back over to me, told me that she admitted it to them. Next time, he gave her a warning. Next time, he'll give her a ticket. Next time I call, he'll give her a ticket. So now the onus is on me. I'm on poop patrol now. I think this is a quality of life issue because if you know Veterans Field right now, the baseball team plays there during the spring. The football team is there every day right now practicing. We've got our young men from Rahway, from every corner of this city, coming and having to walk through dog poop in order to get to practice. In September, we will have a flood of middle school and high school kids walking down Central Avenue past all of this to go to high school, to go to school, and walk back past it. I don't know what can be done, but something has to be done. Something has to be done. It's a health issue, it's a quality of life issue, and it's just an issue for Rahway because it's a representation of our city. Anytime another parents come from another town to go to a baseball game, they're getting out of their cars in the middle of dog poop. And it's not this one neighbor, there are several of them. And I honestly don't know what to do, and I guess I'm coming here asking the city council, what is it that we can do about this? Because it's really just overwhelming. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next is Michael McFarland's 239 Central Avenue.
Yeah, my name is Michael McFarlane. I reside at 239 Central Avenue. I'm here to speak on the matter of the tickets that have been issued to all of us that live in that resident building in 239 Central Ave at the Willow. and we went to Lewis Street. They said we don't get permits. They're trying to compel us to park across the river, which is unlikely. Nobody parked over there because it's a disaster area. And even the people live within that area adjacent to the river. That part strip of land, you know, engulf that little strip of land, the parking spot. So it's just a disaster area. Even the people live in that area don't even park there. So how could they telling us at 239 to go over there and park? And that strip of land was even there years before the Willow was even built up. The Willow was there only for 6 years. And I'm pretty sure that parking lot was there years ago. So, and they want us to park there. And we live in a 58 units apartment, and it's only 37 parking spot at the garage. So you have 21 people had to park on the street, and they kill us with ticket every day. Even one of my neighbor said her monthly income is minimal. She can't afford to pay $70 a month to park over there. And the city parking authority, those computer in the car, they're not going to reimburse us. God forbid if we park there and our car get flooded out, $3,200, which unlikely, they're not going to pay us. So that's why nobody dare parked over there. Not even the people that live adjacent to that parking spot. Because the whole river partially surrounded that little strip of land, you know, where the park. So nobody ever parked over there. So we would like the city council to arrange some kind of way where we could, you know, alleviate this matter or get a permit to park in Central Ave, because people that live on Elm Street, Estabrook, or Campbell Street, they park in Central Ave from their private home. They live in a private home because mostly everybody in that private home practically have a car. So when that block is filled up, they come and park in Central Ave, which they only issued permit for people living in private homes in that area. So we should entitled to get permit to park in Central Ave as well as those people. There shouldn't be no exception. And the parking lot across the river, the stage, it's not designed just for people living at 239 Rahway. It's for anybody. Anybody could park there. So they make it look like only the people at the Willow could park there. But when it's not, anybody could park there. So it just didn't design and develop just for the people at 239. So we would appreciate if, the city council would, try to give us some kind of permit or something where we could park in Central Ave. Because I don't have $3,200 to spend for a computer on the diagnostic system in the car if it get flooded out. So, I would appreciate it and thankful
1 minute
if
warning.
they could help us, in this matter, alleviating this, matter with over there at Central Ave. If we could get a permit to park in Central Ave, which we entitled to get. We should entitled to get a permit, just like the people live in the private home. I hope the city council would, arrange something with the court or the city, parking authority on Lewis Street. We could get a permit to park there. Thank you. Thank you very much. I
Thank you, sir.
appreciate it.
That's all I have that's signed up.
Okay, now do I have anybody on my left?
Good evening, Alan R. Levy, 254 Oak Street, Rahway, New Jersey. First, I just want to say shame on the entire council for voting for that monstrosity last month to allow 12-story multiple buildings to be built in our downtown. I've spoken with hundreds of members of the community, both online and in person. Not one person supports it, and not one person on this council has said one word in support of that, which is going to destroy our downtown fabric of our town. And at least if one of you would at least issue one word in support of it and why you thought we need 12-story buildings in our downtown, which is going to destroy the nature of this town, would have been nice to hear that. But it's very clear that the members of this town don't want it, and you know what? November's coming up, so we'll see what happens then. Second, I want to also point out about, I've asked for the last 3 months now, when is the next SID District Management Corporation meeting, and when was the last one? In 1972, this state enacted the Special Improvement District concept, and this town, back in July of 2021, decided to fire the Rawway Arts and Business Corporation Partnership and name itself as the District Management Corporation. And the District Management Corporation oversees the assessments from commercial properties and businesses, and then allows itself to utilize for the Special Improvement District. Now, look, in 2014, under a prior administration, this town did something very creative where they made the Special Improvement District the borders of the entire city. It went to the court, went up to the appellate division, and it's very clear that this town violated the spirit of the law, but the appellate court said it didn't violate the letter of the law. And that's fine. That's a difference for another point. But essentially, you are all members of the District Management Corporation that oversees hundreds of thousands of dollars with the SID. You guys haven't had a meeting that, in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, since January of 2023. And when's the next meeting? It used to be advertised you'd have these meetings on the Mondays right after the city council meeting, but you haven't. And now that's fine if you guys, and trust me, I get the whole concept of the Open Public Meetings Act. And if I were sitting in your chair, I would hate it too, because what it essentially does is it requires you to make an announcement of when a meeting is, and any member of the public can come and yell at you for 5 minutes. And I get that it can be annoying. But that's what the law requires. And right now, the statute states that if you don't comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, any member of the public can file an action in Superior Court to invalidate all that's been done by the Special Improvement District, and also seek penalties of $100 to $500 against each of you. Now, I'm not going to do that, but it's really very simple. All you got to do is have a separate meeting of the District Management Corporation. I don't know why you're not doing that, and if you look at the Special Improvement District's webpage, Rawway is happening, look at the section that says, when do we meet? It says, well, here's a copy of our reports. Well, when do you meet? Well, and remember, every time the Special Improvement District does something,
1 minute
you
warning.
have to give the public the opportunity to speak about it before you do that. And you haven't done that in nearly 2 years. I don't know why. It seems like a very simple fix, and you know what? I hope you do. Thank you.
Council President, I just want to clear up the fact that the city council notices all of their meetings and always holds their meetings in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and the city council serves as the District Management Corporation. So in fact, it's the city council. And from time to time, we have action that you take with regards to SID items. They're on your agenda and they're done at public meetings. So I'm not really quite sure technically, and I don't want to seem like I'm being a wise guy about this, but technically every month when the city council meets, the SID District Management Corporation meets. So the answer is we meet every month. sometimes twice a month. So I know that, that doesn't fit a narrative, but that is an actual legally what is going on here. I just want to make it clear. It's not a separate corporation. It is the city council. So you never meet without noticing it. You always comply with the Open Public Meetings Act. Your clerk wouldn't let you do anything other than that. And I just want to make sure the public understands that.
Thank you. I'd just like to provide some clarification. Our previous mayor, Samson Steinman, who appointed Amy Garcia Phillips and Anne Marie Williams as co-managers of the previous Special Improvement District Management Corporation, as long as the board that existed at that time, was responsible for expanding the SID district from the downtown area to the entire footprint of the city. That was done in the previous administration under Samson Steinman with that board and that management crew.
Hi, Andrew Garcia Phillips, 1470 Campbell Street. I just want to follow up on what the gentleman said to some completely disingenuous answers. The SID itself has to have a meeting, a SID meeting, where people get to come up and hear the agenda, the things that you're passing, including who you're electing as leaders, the budget that you're passing. That has to be a separate meeting. You used to do it all the time. That has to be a separate meeting. You can't just say, well, this is an everything meeting. You have to have a meeting of the SID. That's what he's saying. You know that's the case. And I just want to follow up on that because he doesn't get to, and you knew that. And also, I don't know what this has to do with the previous SID, which did have those monthly meetings and did post all of those Open Public Meeting Act requirements and did post all those minutes of all those meetings. Thank you.
Once again, just for the record, all of those things done at public meetings of the city council. So I just want to make that clear. You adopt their budget, you approve the assessment. It happens every year. Just once again, it's a narrative that doesn't maybe fit somebody's view of the world, but it's just kind of the truth and legally correct.
I guess I'm still on the right-hand side. Anybody from the right?
Good evening, everyone. Bernice Young, 200 East Milton Avenue. The city is full of music and a lot of fun. One thing I was looking forward to is a celebration of a heritage. It's going to be at the Senior Center in September, and you should all come out and support it. And for the library, I asked about the water fountains. They weren't on for years. I spoke to Ms. Miles. She said she would look into it, and I understand the water fountains are on. Now for the bus, now my problem. I made a reservation on the bus for Friday to go to lunch on Monroe Street. I found out Thursday night the mayor would be on Cherry Street where some distant relatives were having a grand opening. So I called that night, changed the address. I'd rather go to Cherry Street than Monroe Street. I called in the morning, the young lady said she had that, and I changed the time to 2:30. I wanted to go after the mayor. Then I went over to the rec center to get flyers because it was too hot to go to Estabrook. And I saw Tony there, Anthony. He said he couldn't change my destination within 24 hours of the destination, which didn't make any sense. I wasn't going from Rawway to Wood Avenue, from Monroe Street to Cherry Street. I didn't get to Monroe, and I didn't get to Cherry Street. Someone please look into these rules. He seemed to be pulling out of the air, making them at will. The other problem you have in front of you is 515 Northwood Avenue, Linden. I had a reservation there for a medical building. As you can see on number 1 is 515, the address. The next one, there's a sign showing where the entrance is. Up the driveway, that's where you go in. The next one is a picture of the walkway. You go up that ramp to go to the main entrance of the building. And there's the main entrance of the building. Next you see a picture. I was let off on the street. I had to hold on to that sign to get out of the street, onto the sidewalk, walk over 2 driveways to get to the building. I will not be let off in the street again. Then I called for them to pick me up, and the man came. I told him I wanted to pick up at the front door. He came up the front door. That was Emmanuel in a big bus. He turned around. He said, it's hard to turn around in the driveway. So common sense, send a small bus. If yours is too big, why try to go through that? A lot of people complained about the parking lot. So the next time I went, I requested a small bus take me to the front door. On the way back, I called. Emmanuel picked up the call. He knew where I was. He didn't want to come up that driveway. He came, parked on the street, walked up the driveway, and told me to come down. I said, why didn't you tell the dispatcher to send a small bus? He didn't want to do it. He can't do what he wanted to do. I will not be left standing on the street waiting for a bus in the heat, the rain, or whatever. I'm going to be there for a while for treatment. So they can get that straightened out. There are problems with parking. It's sensible. Send a small vehicle. I don't think Anthony or Mr. Steve knows about this because Steve is very good with safety. He does not want his seniors in jeopardy. So please, someone check with Anthony. Why is he changing the rules in the middle of the game? Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Am I right again?
I'm sorry, I'm going to keep going back to the SID question. Clearly, it was set up as a separate entity. It's on the calendar as the meetings are supposed to follow immediately following the council meeting. So just trying to encapsulate them in the meeting itself does not really fly. There's never any listing on the agenda as to when we're going to talk about the SID, what's being voted on. We get these reports. Who is generating all that work? Who's responsible for that? Who's making these decisions as to who in the community is getting $2,000 versus $5,000? This is all very much under the radar, and it should be public, and the public should be able to be a part of the discussion. So, thank you.
Okay, anyone on my right? Now we'll go to my left.
I'm a little short. Good evening. My name is Minerva Jean. I do reside at 239 Central Avenue. And this is my first time at a City Hall meeting, so I don't know how this works. But I guess in what Michael was trying to say is, or how is it that we do get resident parking for that? Because we went to the parking authority, and they're pretty much saying we can't because we have a parking lot. But as he mentioned, there's 58 apartments, 30 parking spots. Most houses probably have 2 vehicles, and if we park on the street, we're getting ticketed. So what should we be doing? Is there something that, what is the steps to get that taken care of so that the residents of 239 Central can get resident parking? Are those questions answered, or are they just presented? I'm not really sure how this works. They just presented? Got it. Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My question is just about how the...
I'm sorry, can you state your name and address, please?
Yes, Harrison Warren, 239 Central Avenue. Just a quick question about how this process works, because this is the first time I'm actually at a council meeting as well. And when you're selecting individuals for your left side, your right side, can we do a back and forth thing? Is that a possibility? You know, just to kind of, move the process along. I know it's a basic, simple question, but we're sitting there, we're like, so maybe it could be like a back and forth. That's all I had to say. Maybe that's all.
I want to thank everyone for their comments. But if you want to stick around for a little while after the meeting, I'll get your name, your information, and we'll set up a meeting where we can hear in depth or in greater detail what your concerns are, and I'll make certain that we have a response for you. So if you could just hang out for a few minutes after the meeting. Thank you.
any of my councilmen would like to speak?
Yes.
To my right first.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out and making us aware of your concerns. I do want to make a comment in regards to the misunderstanding of the last meeting when we did vote on what could be built in the downtown area. I just want to clarify, because it sounds like it was misunderstood, I'll say. We already have a 12-plus story building in downtown Rahway, right across from the train station. Some of you may be aware of the Watt Hotel, which also has residential housing above. When we're voting on things, we're voting on things that are already put in place and also what would fit the grid of Rahway. We were voting on something that is coming up, and if you were at the meeting, as stated, you would have understood that we voted on what could be allowed, but not exactly what will be built. So we do have to make sure that, as I mentioned, stay within the guidelines of what is and what actually could be in the future. So we did not vote stating that there will actually be a 12-story building built there. We voted to state that in the future, if there was a possibility that it would actually fit the grid of what currently exists and what could be. So I just wanted to clarify that. And as mentioned already, those of you who had concerns listed this evening, if you could please stick around so we can get your name, phone number, and have those questions answered, we will do so.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Yes. I'd like to say that here on the council, like I said again, today you're going to have the opportunity to get with the business administrator for you to give your concerns, and we'll see what we can do about that. But there is a concern where it says working together we can make something happen, and everyone has to be willing to work with it. You know, the Central Avenue problem, I could see what you're doing, but they can work something out for you. What I'd like to say really is the gentleman who's the Eagle Scout that's going to be doing with the rain garden. I think it's very good that you're going to do the work there at the rain garden, you know, with the flowers that's there, the native flowers, and also with the benches, because I like gardening myself. The other thing I wanted to know is approximately what would be the time frame that it's going to be done. That's all, because I want to make sure that, you know, you do it and you do receive your Eagle Scout badge. Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts. Very good. Thank you. Oh, I forgot one other thing. When Mrs. Young was up talking about 200, I didn't get a chance to know all what she wanted to do, but she's one of my constituents, and I'd like for you to give her your undivided attention to work with her. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Council Vice President. I just want to err on what Councilman Brown mentioned regarding the rain garden. Bob Markey has been a custodian of the rain garden. He's been doing a great job, but I can understand that he needs a little help, and I'm glad that the Boy Scouts, the Eagle Scouts, have decided to take on a little bit of a responsibility and try to help him out in that endeavor. I do hope, though, that you bring the Girl Scouts in there and kind of share that along with other dens within the area. I think that'd be great. More hands, the better. But it's extremely commendable that you're involved. It's good to get the youth involved. Now, regarding the 12-story alleged building, I sit on redevelopment. We never discussed 12 stories whatsoever. The city's not in the skyscraper business. That's not what we do. If you think about businesses all around, developments all around in this area, we're not seeing 12-story buildings. You keep in mind that materials are extremely expensive. If you look at the cost of concrete and the fact that it's very difficult to get, you can see 12 stories are not really feasible. But we are not looking at doing 12 stories at this moment in time. Just like what Councilwoman Timmons mentioned, I think she made that very clear. But also, not everybody said yes to this. Councilwoman Miles said no, so don't commend the whole council now. I mean, there was someone who actually said no who was against it, so in respect to her as well. But again, thank you all for coming out and airing your grievances and your concerns. That's what makes Rawley so wonderful, where we can go ahead and discuss things that are on our minds or in our hearts, and hopefully we'll move forward in the best respective way possible for you and everyone. Thank you and have a good night, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Anyone else? Okay, I would just like to compliment young Mr. Phillips on the presentation. It was excellent. And I know Mr. Markey is going to be involved with you, so I know it's going to be excellent also. Keep up the good work. Proud of you. Thank you. Now, at this time, I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Anyone
Second.
else? Second? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Carla, we're finished.